We look at specific types of businesses, so I can't speak broadly for every scenario. I know guys that buy businesses in very different sectors and there's different expectations, but one thing is very true. We use a framework, we call it a top-down P&L approach. I want to know how stable is this business starting with revenue. We look at the revenue and say, okay, is this revenue predictable? The higher level of predictability of the revenue, the more I'm willing to pay for it. If I can say, you've got contracts for $10 million for the next 10 years. That's way more exciting to me than we make 10 million a year and it's erratic and it happens here and happens there. And this person's responsible for pulling this out and doing all these types of things. I can't wrap my arms around it. It makes it more challenging. And then when you go down from that, if you have a situation where, again, not speaking to everybody's circumstances, every business model is slightly different. But I'll tell you this way, for me, if I look at it and you go to the cost of goods sold or cost of labor, which is that next rung going down the profit and loss statement, if you've got no control of that labor or those machines or everything that you're doing there, and it's a very erratic cost and not manageable costs, that's something else that's really not something I would be excited about, because I don't know if I can tell Walmart, who is my biggest distributor or whatever the case may be, hey, you can't cut me another 5%. That's really intimidating to be in a business where you have very little leverage. And some people have businesses where they have all 1099 employees and they're having to try to create and control margin constantly. There's no predictability there. So those are the first two rungs that I look for. And then we go down to the third on the operational. If this business were to grow, would there be a break in the back area of the operations? What would that look like? How key are these people? Hey, that person's 65 and they're wanting to transition out. They are the key person in this way. That's a risk. And so I'm always looking at it from that framework. And I try to communicate to folks that if you can create some stability in that hierarchy, first being the revenue, then your cost and control to produce that product or service. And then thirdly, operationally, what's that managed like? I think you'll end up solving a lot of problems and create a lot of ease for people that would be taking over that baton of your business.